Hey everyone, how's it going? Hey, just wanted to check in with you guys today. We're gonna go over lesson three. All right, we're gonna go over lesson three, which is the area of acute triangles using height and base. What I want to do, start off with this lesson just like we do at school. I wanna go over the homework first, and hopefully you guys get what the homework is, and then jump into lesson three. All right, it's kind of like always like I start my class. I sign the homework, and then I go over the homework to clarify you guys how the homework should have been solved, and then jump into the lesson. All right, so okay, you guys posted last week lesson two. You'll find it on YouTube if you need to watch it. This is kind of what I work with. Okay, so I want to go ahead and jump into this. Okay, the formulas that we can use to find the area of right triangles are base times height divided by 2, or base times height times 1/2. They're both the same. I prefer to use this one myself. I'd like to put everything into fraction. It separates everything more, and I can see it more clearly. But if you want to go with that one, go ahead. All right. I jump into this one right away. Base times height. Okay, so my base is 31.2, which I labeled right here as my base. All right, and multiplied it times my height, which is 9.1, which you're able to see here, and multiplied it times 1/2. Okay, once I multiply 31.2 times 9.1, I have the work right here. Okay, when I multiply 31.2 times 9.1, I ended up getting 283.92. Okay, I multiplied the 1 times 1, which is 1, times 2, and that's where I got my 2. So look at how I'm multiplying going across. All right, then I divided that by 2. I multiplied the 283.92 by 2, and I got 141.96, and that is my area. I make sure that it's centimeters squared because I'm finding the area. Okay, if you need to pause the video to look at the steps, look at it. Okay, that's my base, that's my height, times 1/2. I multiplied the base and the height, which gave me 283.92, and divided by 2, which is right here. I divided by 2, and I got this number. All right, I jump into the next one. Okay, my base for this triangle right here is 5, and my height is 3.4, and I multiply times 1/2. Okay, I turn them into fractions. 5 is the same thing as saying 5 over 1. This mixed number, I turn it into an improper fraction, which is 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15, and I bring down that 4, okay, times 1/2. I multiply going across. 5 times 5 is 75, 4 times 2 is 8, and then I divided them, and here are my remainders, okay, 9, 3, and 8. I turn it into a mixed number because it's asking for mixed numbers, and I got 3/8 kilometers squared. All right, again, if you want to pause the video, pause it, look at it, repeat the video if you need to repeat this part to listen to my voice and the steps. Right, I'm gonna jump into number 3. Okay, I noticed that my base is 2.4, so I put 2.4 for base, and my height is 3.2, which I put 3.2 right there, times 1/2. I turned them into fractions, okay, just to help me see when I multiply across. And I multiply 2.4 times 3.2, which gave me 7.68, and I'm dividing it by 2. Why by 2? 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2, okay? And I divided 7.68 by 2, and I got 3.84, okay? Here's my division, my work. So at the end, the area of this triangle is 3.84 inches squared. All right, if you want to pause the video, look at the steps, look at it. If you want me to repeat the steps, there you are. The next one, okay, I notice that this is my base, which is 60. My height is 11 times 1/2. Okay, I put them into fractions. I did 60 over 1, 11 over 1, 1 times 1 over 2. And then I multiplied 60 times 11 is 660. And 1 times 2 is 2. And I divided that. 660 divided by 2 gave me 330. Here's my work. And at the end, I circled my final answer, which is 330 millimeters squared. Okay. Again, if you want to pause the video or rewind it, be more than welcome. The last one, my base is 10 feet. Okay. My height is 13 1/3. So I put them, right, base times height, and then I turned them into fractions. 10 over 1, this is 3 times 13, which is 39, plus 1 is 40, so I did it as an improper fraction. And then times 1/2, and I multiply it across. 10 times 40 is 400, 3 times 2 is 6. And I divide it here, and this is the numbers I got, 66, 4, and 6. I put it here, but you can reduce the 4 and the 6 when you divide by 2, and you should end up getting 66 2/3 feet squared, all right? I know it's a lot of information, okay? Well, that was 1 through 5 on the lessons. If you want to pause the video, rewind it, do it again. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me a video, a question, anything through Class Dojo. All right. And I'm going to go over the last part of the homework, which is this one. And it's saying that Elena has 2 congruent rugs at her house. Congruent is a fancy word for saying that they're both equal. They're both equivalent. Okay. They're both equal. They're both equivalent. She cut one vertically, which is this one. And she cut diagonally, which is this one. It's saying after making the cuts, which rug, A, B, C, or D, has a larger area? Explain. Your explanation is they all have the same area. Why? Because the rugs are congruent, or they're equal. And I'm showing an example here. Okay? If we multiply the area using this way, 5 times 4 is 20 units. Well, if I do this one too, 5 times 4 is also 20 units. So they are congruent, okay? Pause the video, okay? Make sure you see the explanation. On number 7, it says give dimensions of a right triangle and a parallelogram with the same area, okay? So that was asking you to do, I created a right triangle here, and I created a parallelogram, in this case a right triangle, and you wanted to get the same answer as areas, okay? If you look at this one, I wrote down base times height because that's the formula for a parallelogram. If I do 4 times 3, 4 times 3 is 12 units squared, right? Well, in this one, I also wanted to get 12 units, but you got to think about what you're going to do because you're going to divide that by 2. So I thought, what's 12 times 2? And I thought, okay, 24. So I'm doing 8 times 3, which is 24. And when I divided that by 2, which is right there, 24 divided by 2, I ended up getting 12. So all you had to do was try to find any example that you could have shown that the areas were the same. Okay, you could have been both of them sharing 9 square units, 1,000 square units, whatever you wanted. And here I'm showing that they're both can be 12. All right. And the last one is saying if the area of a right triangle is 916 square feet and the height is 3/4 feet, okay, it's telling us to write an equation in here and solve and find the base. So I did this for yourself, okay? For myself, I know that the area of a right triangle is this, so I put it inside, okay? And they gave us the height for free, which is 3/4. So what it's asking us to find is the base. So I use the formula A equals base times height times 1/2, okay? My area equals how much? It says right there, 916. So I replace the A, which is area, with 916 equals B. We don't know what B is. We do know what the height is, 3/4. I replaced the H with 3/4 times 1/2. Okay? And then I multiplied the 3 times 1, which is 3, and 4 times 2, which is 8. So it gave me this. So this is what it looked like. And then I said, I want to leave B by itself. How can I leave B by itself? We'll multiply this by its opposite, okay? If I do 3 times 8, it's 24. 8 times 3 is 24, which is 1. At the same time, it looks like this. So I did the reciprocal of this one. And I multiplied both sides by 8/3, okay? Now I have B by myself, and I multiply 8 times 9 is 72. And 3 times 16, which is 48, okay? You could have left the answer like that. I mean, you could have put, you did have to put feet on it. Some people went deeper and made this into a mixed number. This is the work they did, okay? And they got 1.5 feet squared, okay? This was your homework. Again, hopefully it helped a little bit more. And we're more on track of what this lesson is asking from us, all right? If you have any questions, let me know. That's lesson 2. Get it out of the way. Move on to lesson 3, okay? So lesson 3, we're gonna focusing on the area of acute triangles using height and base. I'm gonna show you guys several methods of how to solve these. Okay, the whole point that we're trying to do here now, I'm gonna show you the clean side, which is these 3. If you notice, this is a big triangle. Okay, this is a big triangle right here. Inside this big triangle, you're able to find 1, 2 triangles. Okay, same thing here. You can find, this is a big triangle, you're able to find 1, and this one is super slim, that's 2. Same thing here. This is a big triangle, this is triangle 1, and this is triangle 2. Okay, same thing here on this one, I highlighted it red, that's triangle 1, that's triangle 2. So we're trying to find the area of both triangles to help us find what's the area of the entire triangle, this big one. Okay, we need to find the area of both of these in order to find what's the area of this entire triangle, right? So I'm gonna use the same formula. A equals base times height times 1/2. Okay, so I use a red color here. So here's my red, and I highlighted it red, and I know this is answered. I made a mistake on the video, so I'm refilming. Okay, the base for this red triangle, let me focus in, is 9 centimeters. So I did 9. Okay, and my height, your height is always gonna be the dotted line, you guys, eh? So this is the height here. This dotted line is the height for this one. This dotted line is the height for this one. So the height for this one is 12. So I did base times height times 1/2. And again, I turned them into fractions. I did the 9 over 1. I did the 12 over 1, and then multiply across. And I did 9 times 12 is 108, and 1 times 2 is 2. And then I divided 108 by 2, and it gave me 54 centimeters squared. All right. All you had to do was multiply 108, okay, by 100 by 2. Okay. And there's your 54. Okay, that's where I got my 54 from, centimeter squared. So, and then I wrote down here, area equals 54 centimeters squared, and I just put a little arrow showing that this triangle right here, which is in red, like in red, is the area for this triangle that's in red. Okay, now I want to find the area for this triangle that's in purple. Okay, so I noticed that the base for the triangle in purple is 12.6. That's my base. I use 12.6 as a base, and the height is 12. So I did 12 base times height times 1/2. 12.6 is my base, 12 is the height. I did them kind of like in a fraction form so I can multiply across, and I multiplied 12.6 times 12, which is right here. Okay, that's why you're able to see this. This is a mistake. 12.6 times 12 gave me 151.2, which is right there. And then 1 times 2 equals 2. I divided 151.2 by 2, which is right here. If you want to pause the video, look at the steps. Okay, I divided that, and it gave me 75.6. So the area for this triangle, it's in purple. I put an arrow here too as well. The area for this one is 75.6 centimeters squared. Okay, so now we have the area for the first triangle, which is this one in red, and we have the area for this triangle, which is purple. Okay, now we're able to tell what is the area of this entire thing. And I'm going to show you 2 methods on this square. All right, I'm going to show you method number 1. I put right here, we're going to add the bases. Method number 1 is add the bases. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is the base for one, and this is the base for the other. So we're going to add these 2 bases. Okay, so we're going to do 9 plus 12.6. So you see right there, 9 plus 12.6, which equals 21.6. Okay, and I'm going to put it inside parentheses just so you know that I'm adding that. And I'm going to multiply that at the end by 12, which is the height. Okay, so if you notice my trick here, I'm combining, I'm looking, this is trying to find the area with this without finding them here. Okay, so these are going to be different methods of how to figure it out. Okay, so 9 plus 12.6, which got 21.6, times the height, which is 12. Okay, and I have it here. I did 21.6 times 12, Okay, and here's the work. If you want to pause the video, pause it. I recommend you guys pause it. I ended up getting 259.2. This equals to 259.2. Okay. And then here, remember that the last step is to divide by the half. Okay. And if I divide 259.2 by 2, there's a decimal right there, bring down the 2. Okay, my final answer, the area for that giant triangle is 129.6 centimeters squared. Okay, this is the method you could do. This is the method number 1. Okay, what I did is I added the basis. I put right here method 1. I would tell you guys to label this on the top, M1, which means method 1, add basis. So what I did, I added the base for this one with the base of this one, 9 plus 12.6, which represents the B right here. My height, I'm multiplying times the height, which is 12. And they both share the same height, which is 12. And I multiplied it times 1/2, okay, which is right here. Okay, and I put the 2 under because it's all of them. It's like saying over 1. Okay, so I multiply the 21.6 times 12. Here's the steps. I got 259.2. You can pause the video if you want. And then divide it by 2. You got 129. The other method I'm going to use in red, which I think it's the more simpler one. Okay. Method 2, M2, is basically you can just add these 2 areas together. Add the 2 areas. Okay, and what I mean by that, okay, what did we say that the area for the first triangle was? Well, we said it was 54. Okay, and we said that the area for the second triangle was this one, which was 75.6. So I'm going to add them, see if it comes out to this same one. That's 6. 5 plus 4 is 9. 7 plus 5 is 100. And look at that, okay? It also came out the same, okay? Like I tell you, I always like to teach 2 different methods. You guys get to choose whichever one you want, okay? Let me fix this here really quick. Okay, so this one's 120. So these are 2 methods. You can do method 1, which is add the basis of the triangle to find out the entire thing, okay? And then multiply times 1/2, and then times 1 times the height, which is right here. Or you can do this one, which we go back to this one. You find the area for this one, you find the area for this one, add them together, divide by 2. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with these problems, okay, with this problem, I'm gonna use this method. I'm gonna do this method and do it with the red. I'm gonna add both areas for this one, and then see what I come out. And with this one, I'm gonna try the other method, and so far, okay. So let's see how it goes. You guys, whichever method you feel most comfortable with. Okay, as long as you're getting the area for the entire thing. So if I look at this one, okay, so I'm gonna look at 1, triangle 1, okay, triangle 1, which is right here. I'll label it triangle 1. My base for triangle 1 is 8 times the height, which is this one, is 5.2. And I'm actually gonna make this into an X, so because there's decimals, times 1/2. Okay, I'm gonna turn those into fractions myself because it helps Mr. Valencia. Okay, some of you don't need to do this. That's okay. It helps me. If I do 8.2, 8 times 5.2, I'm gonna do it right here. That is 16. That's 40, 41. Okay. One number's after the decimal, which is right there. So it's gonna be 41.6 divided by 2. Okay. So 41.6 divided by 2. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna ask Siri for right now. 41.6 divided by 2.
The answer is 20.8.
So it's 20.8. Okay. Feet squared. So the area for this one is 20.8 feet squared. All right. And I'm gonna get a piece of paper right now, and I'm just trying to prove and show you guys that 41.6 divided by 2 is actually 20.8. That's 2, 4. Bring down the 1, 2 does not fit into 1, so it's 0. Add the decimal there and bring down the 6. How many times does 2 go into 16? 8 times. And there's my proof. Okay, I don't need Siri to tell me. I know how to do it the long way. This is how I expect you guys to solve it anyway. Okay, because when you take the AZ Merit, you won't have Siri or Alexa or anybody to tell you. All right, so I'm just proving to you guys that it's 20.8. Okay, so that's the area for this one. Now I want to find the area for this one. Okay, I'm gonna use red for triangle 2. The base for triangle 2 is 3.9 times the height, 5.2 times 1/2. I'm gonna turn those into fractions, so it helps me multiply going across. Okay. And I'm gonna multiply 3.9 times 5.2. See what I get. 3.9 times 5.2. Well, 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. Now I'm going to start in the tens place, which is right here because the 5 is in the tens place. 5 times 9 is 45. Carry the 4. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 4 is 19. Okay? And then add. 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. How many numbers are after the decimal? There's 1, 2. So, boom, right there. So it's 20.28. 20.28 divided by 2. Let me double check with Siri. 3.9 times 5.2.
It's 20.28.
Okay, 20.28. And now I'm going to divide that by 2. I'm going to divide this by 2. That's 0. There's a decimal right there. Bring down the 2. It goes in 1 time, which is 2. 0. Bring down the 8. Voila. Here's our area, 10.14. So the area for the other triangle is 10.14 feet squared. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna use the method. I'm gonna use this method, okay, of adding the areas. Okay, for this one. Okay. Remember, I showed you method 1 and method 2. For right now, I'm gonna use method 2 on this one. Okay. No, might as well teach you both methods. Okay, I'm gonna use method number 1, which is add the bases. So the bases, if I add them, this is method 1. Remember, I'm going to add the base 8 feet plus 3.9. 8 plus 3.9. Those are the bases. What's the height? The height is 5.2 times 1/2. Okay. And this is going to be 11.9 times 5.2 times 1/2. Where did you get the 11.9, Mr. Valencia? 8 plus 3.9. That's where I got it from. Okay. And I'm gonna multiply that 11.9 times 5.2. And I'm gonna make them also into fractions. 11.9 times 5.2. That's 18. 2 plus 1, 3. That's 2. 9 times 5 is 45. Bring down that 4. That's 9. And 5 times 1 is 5. Add them. 5 plus 3 is 8. 9 plus 2 is 11. Yeah. 5 plus 1, 6. How many numbers are after the decimal? 1, 2. Which is... So 11.9 times 5.2 is 61.88. And I'm going to divide that by 2. That should let me know what's the area of the entire super triangle. Okay. 3, 6. 2 does not fit into 1. Decimal, bring down the 8. Fits 9 times, which is 18. 0, bring down the 8. Fits 4 times. So it's 30.94. Okay. Okay, so that's the area for the entire triangle, this gigantic thing. The other method that you can do, and I'm gonna use red, if you don't want to do this method, if you want to skip these steps, all these steps, all you have to do is add the 20.8 times the 10.14, which is method 2, add 2 areas. Okay, 20.8. So I'm going to get the area of the first one, 20.8. That's an 8. That's an 8. Sorry, it's all ugly. That's an 8. 20.8 plus 10.14. There's nothing here. Bring down the 4. 8 plus 1 is 9. That's a 9. Bring down the decimal. 0. 3 plus 1, 30. And boom, look at what I got here. By just adding the areas together. Okay, so you can choose whichever you want. You can add the bases, multiply the height, divide by 2. Or you can just add the areas from right here. All right, let's go into the next one. Okay. So I'm gonna look at this one. This one is it's a little bit okay. It's a little bit because this one is super thin. I'm gonna do the base, which is 2. Okay. And I'm gonna start a little bit from here because I need that extra space. 2 times, and the height is 2 and 5, 6 times 1/2. I'm gonna turn this into fractions, which is 2 over 1, and this one. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 2 is 12. And 12 plus 5 is 17 over 6 times 1/2. Okay, so I turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. That's a 17. And now I look at this. 2 times 17 is 34. And 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, and I'm gonna wanna divide those to figure out what the area for the gigantic one is for basically the fat one. I'm gonna call it the fat one because the gigantic one is the one on the outside having those two. 12 divided by 34, okay, which goes in 2 times, which is 24, and there's 10 left. So that turns into 2, 10, 12. I can reduce these by 2, right? So at the end, the answer is gonna be 2, 5, 6. Okay, inches squared. Okay, what I did here, I divided these by 2. Okay, that's how I got 5, 6. Okay, so the area for this one is 2.56 feet squared. Okay, now I want to find the area of the, I know it's super thin, you guys. This is a bad example, to be honest, but you know, let's work with what we have. Let's find the area of this super thin, super thin triangle. Well, the base right here, it's letting you know that the base is right here from here to here, super small. It's 5, 6, 5 over 6 times the height is still the same, 2 and 5, 6 times 1/2. I'm using the formula. It's gonna turn all of them into fractions. Okay, so 2 and 5, 6. We said right here 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 plus 5 is 17 over 6 times 1/2. And I'll multiply across. 5 times 17. 5 times 7 is 35. Bring down the, so it's 85. 85. 85 over 6 times 6 is 36. And 36 times 2, 72. So 85 over 72. I want to divide these, see what comes out. 85 divided by 72, only one time, which is 72. 13. Okay, 113.72, which is 113.72. And that's the area for the super thin, which is this one right here, triangle. All right. Now we want to find the area of the entire thing. We're going to combine the super thin one with the fat one. Okay. So let's combine. Okay. Now this one, I want to save a step, and I just want to go ahead and let's do by, let's see, let's do this by adding the bases, which is 2 plus 5, 6. Times the height is 2 and 5, 6 times 1/2. Okay, okay, so far so good. Okay, if I add this, it's gonna be 2, 5, 6 times 2, 5, 6 times 1/2. You're gonna turn these into improper fractions. I notice here that 2, 5, 6 is 17 over 6. 17 over 6 times 1/2. Gonna save us some time with this one, okay? Because 17 times 17, 49, 11, 7 and 1, 289. over. And we said that 6 times 6, there's 36. 36 is 72. Okay. And at the end, I'm going to divide 289 by 72. I know this fits in 4 times, I think. Let's see. 72 times 4. Trial and error. That's 8. No. It's too much. Let me see. That's 7 times 7, 49. 11. That's good. That's 7. And 1. 289. 2 times 4 is 8. Oh, it's because I carried a 1. I didn't need to carry a 1. So I made a mistake there. Okay. 72 times 4. That's 8. And 7 times 4 is... Okay, so I got 288. Nice. So it barely fit. So now we go. So the area is going to be 4, 1 over 72. Okay. So the area of both triangles is 4, 1, 72 feet squared. So the area of the entire triangle, the entire thing, is that. Or you can do the other step and we can add this with this. Okay. Let's see. This one's going to take a while. There's trying to find a common denominator for both of them. Okay. But you can do, so we're going to add the areas, which is 2, 5, 6, and add that area, which is 1, 13, 72. Okay. This one's a little bit, it's a mission. Okay. But let's figure it out. So this one, it's 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 5 is 17 over 6. Plus this one is 1 times 72, which is 72, plus 13 is 85 over 72. Okay. We want to have the same common denominator. So I'm going to turn this into 72, which I'm going to multiply this by 12. So I'm going to do this the same by 12. So now I have 72 over 17 times 12. That's 14, carry the 1, 34, 7, and 1. Okay, 4, 10, 204. Let me ask Siri. 17 times 12.
The answer is 204.
Okay, I still got it, which is 204. Now this is 204 plus 72, 85. Now we can add a cross. That's going to be 289 over 72, which is right here, you see? So the answer is going to come out being obviously the same, which is going to be 4 and 1, 72 feet squared. So again, sometimes method number 1 of adding both bases times the height divided by 2 is better. Sometimes this is a little bit complicated when you add just the areas to get the same. They work, okay? And I'm going to I should have used a red. I'm going to separate them so you're able to see method 1. This is method 1, method 2. All right. Last one. Hopefully this one is the easiest one because they're whole numbers. Okay. So I'm going to start with, I said this was going to be triangle number 1. Okay. This is the whole thing. This is triangle 2. So let's see. The base for the first one is 34 times the height, which is 32 times 1/2. Okay, I'm going to turn these into fractions, which is 34 over 1, 32 over 1, 1/2. Okay, the denominator is going to be 2. The mission is 34 times 32. Let's see, 34 times 32. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Add these. 8, 8, 1. There's no decimals. So we're going to do 1,088 divided by 2. That's 5, 10, 0, 8, 4, 8, 0, 8, 4. So the area for this one is going to be 544 meters squared. Okay. Now let's find the area for this one, which is number 2. And I'm going to use a red one. The base for this one is right here, which is 12. Okay. Times the height, which is 32. Times 1/2. I'm going to turn these into fractions. 12 over 1. 32 over 1. Times 1/2. This is going to be over 2. What I need to find is 32 times 12. Four. 2 times 3 is 6. That's 2 and 3. 4, 8, 384. Okay. 12 times 32. 12 times 32.
It's 384.
Okay. And I'm going to divide that by 2. I'm going to do it here. 384 divided by 2. 1, 2, 1. Bring down the 8, which is 9. 18, 0. Bring down the 4 to 192. So the area for the second triangle is 192 meters squared. Okay. 192 meters squared. Okay, so the area for the first one is, sorry about that. This one's 544 meters squared. And this one is 192 meters squared. Okay. We're going to use 2 methods. Method number 1, we're going to combine there's 2 ways to figure this out. When you say methods, it means there's 2 different ways you can figure it out. If you feel more comfortable with one method, go ahead with that one. If you want to go ahead with the other method, go ahead with that one, as long as you get the answer. Okay, I always like to teach different methods. We're going to add the bases, which is 34 plus 12. 34 plus 12. That's my basis. Times the height. The height is 32 times 1/2. Okay. 34 plus 12 is 46 times 32 times 1/2. I'm going to turn these into fractions. So it's going to be over 2. And 46 times 32. That's the mission that we're trying to figure out. 46 times 32. 12, 8, 9. This is 18. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 12, 13. So the answer is 2, 17, 14. So it's going to be 1472. And we're going to divide this by 2. Okay. 1472 divided by 2. That's 7. 14, bring down the 7, it goes in 3 times, which is 6. 1, bring down the 2, which is 6. 12, which is 736, okay? Meters squared. So that's the area for the entire triangle, and triangle 1 and 2 together, okay? We added the bases. Once we added the bases, we multiplied the bases times the height, which is right here. Bases times the height, and then divided by 2. Or the other method, you can just add these, all right? That's why I put them inside the squares. I'm going to add 544. This is the other method. This is method number 2. This is the second way you can do it, okay? Most of the time, I prefer this one, okay? It's less work. 544 plus 192. We should be getting this number. 4 plus 2 is 6. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. So there we go. Okay. 736 meters squared. Okay. So whichever method you want, you can go ahead with method 1 or method 2. It's up to you, you guys. Okay, I know it's a lot of work. My God, tell me about it. It's a lot of work. But I want you guys to practice this stuff, all right? It is a lot of work. Can't say no. I wish I was in front of you guys teaching you this method. Okay, this is the method right here. This is the method right here. If you notice, method 2 is way shorter than method 1, but they both come out the same. You see how I was at 129.6, 129.6, 30.94, 30.94, 4 and 172, 4 and 172, 736, 736. Whichever method you want. Some people are gonna like method 1, some people are gonna like method 2. All right. Go to the back. Okay, this one's gonna go quicker than what we just did. Okay. It says, can we use a formula A times 1/2 base times height to calculate the area of triangles that are not right triangles? Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. All we need to know is the base and height. Okay, so if you know the base and the height of any triangle, you can use this formula. Okay, if a triangle does not have a height, you cannot use this formula. If a triangle doesn't have a base, you can't use this formula. But any triangle, even a regular triangle, it has a base and if it has a height. So for example, this is not a right triangle, okay? But if you have something like this, and it's gonna show the height, which is like 2 centimeters, and the base is 3 centimeters, okay? You can multiply this base times height and then divide it by 2. So it works, all right? Jump to number 3, okay? We look at this, examine the given triangle in the expression, okay? If you look at this, it's like saying 1/2 times base times height. That's the formula I've been using all this times. I put the 1/2 at the end, but it's the same. It's saying explain what each part of the expression represents according to the triangle. So if you look at this triangle, the reason why it's 11 is that this person added the basis. It's one of the methods I told you guys to do, okay? It's the short way, okay? This person didn't go and find the area of this triangle and didn't go in and find the area of this triangle and they added them together. No, she did the whole thing. So that's where she's getting 11, because 3 feet plus 8 feet is 11 feet. That's where she's getting her 8, and her 4 feet is her height. So explain each part. So this person, this added both bases, and I know I forgot the word persons. This added both bases, 3 feet plus 8 feet, which equals 11 feet, okay? Which is this right here. That's your base, okay? And multiplied times 4 feet, which is the height, all right? That's what this person did, all right? They did it the quicker way. This is the method. This is method 1. It's super easy when you do it with whole numbers, okay? Going back to this one, okay? It's much easier when you have whole numbers than when you have decimals or mixed numbers. So if you look at this, okay, she basically did this over here, okay? She added the 3 and the 8, which she put as that's her base for the entire triangle, The entire triangle. I'm gonna say it again, the entire triangle. The base for the entire triangle is 11. The base for this triangle, which right now you're able to see, is 8. The base for this triangle is 3, okay? But if you combine both triangles, their basis is gonna be 11, all right? If you wanna pause this video to see this explanation, go ahead. Joe found the area of a triangle by writing, okay, which is the top. That's Joe apparently. Which Caitlin found the area by writing 1/2 times 3 and 4. So she found the area of this one first, and then she did the area of this one first, which was the other method I taught you guys. Okay, so it says explain how each student approached the problem. They used different methods. Okay, Joe, like I mentioned at the top, Joe added both bases and multiplied the height, then divided by 2. And we have Caitlin, I'm just gonna call her Kate, found the area of each triangle and then added them together. Okay. So again, if you want to pause it right there, I know it's a lot of information. Rewind it, read it one more time. They use different methods. What Joe did, Joe added both of the bases, multiplied those bases times the height, and then divided by 2, and gave him his area. Kate did it the long way. She found the area of the smaller triangle. She added the area of the bigger triangle, and then she added both of the areas, all right? So it's basically the methods that I taught you here on the front. Caitlin did this one. She did method 1, okay? Which she added both of the bases, multiplied the height, divided by 2. And Joe did it this way. He only basically did it the short way, okay? The triangle below has an area of 476 square inches. I'm in number 5 now. Okay. Okay. Let me read again. The triangle below has the area of 4.76 square inches and the base is 3.4. Let h and the height in inches. Okay. So we know that the area of this entire thing, okay, and I'm gonna use a purple to kind of like go around it, okay? The area of this entire triangle, the area of this entire thing is 4.76 inches squared, okay? It's not this one, it's not that one, it's all of it, the big one, okay? And the base from this point to this point is 3.4 inches. What we're trying to find is the height, okay? So it's saying, explain how the equation, which basically this is saying this, A equals 1/2 base times height. Your A is this part, and your base is the 3.4. Okay, explain how the equation 4.76 inches squared equals 1/2 times 3.4 inches times height represents the situation. Okay, what is going on here? What explain the equation? All you have to do is they are trying to find the area. What they're gonna have to do eventually, okay, what's gonna happen here, she's gonna multiply 1 times 3.4 and divide that by 2, okay, and then move that over here and divide that. So it's gonna be a long step, okay? So they are trying to find the area. So let's show the work here, okay? (4.76) times 1/2, and I'm gonna make that as a fraction. I'm gonna help myself. 3.4 over 1 times height, okay? 1 times 3.4, I'm gonna continue over here, okay? 4.76 equals 1 times 3.4 is still 3.4 divided by 2. And we have the h. Okay. 1 divided by 3.4, I can tell you right now, it's 1.7. Height, 4.76. Let me prove it to you. 3.4 divided by 2. 1. Okay. Decimal. Bring down the 4. 7. 14. 0. 1.7. That's why I got 1.7. Now I want to divide both sides by 1.7. That'll let me know. These are going to cancel out. Okay. So we have h by itself. So h is going to equal 4.76 divided by 7. 4.76 divided by 1.7.
The answer is 2.8.
Okay. 2.8 inches squared. Let me see if it's true. Okay. 1.7. 4.76. I'm going to move the decimal. Okay. 1 time to the right. Okay. Which is 17. 47.6. Okay. 17 goes into 47 2 times, which is 34. That's 13. Bring down the 6, which is 8. It's 136. Okay. 17 times 8. And that's where we get the 2.8. Okay. That's the lesson, you guys. Okay. If you want to pause it, look at it. All right. I divided here the 4.76 by the 1.7, but before I did all of that, okay, they gave me this formula. I basically did the dirty work, okay, which is saying that, right? Did the formula. Here's, I brought this over here, made it into a fraction, okay. 3.4 times 1 is 3.4, 2 times 1 is 2. Divided the 3.4 with the 2, it gave me 1.7, okay, which is right there. Oh, never mind. It's right there. Sorry. Okay. And then I divided the 476 by 1.7 and it gave me 2.8. Okay. Which is right there. Okay. That's the lesson, you guys. I want to explain the homework really quick. Okay. I don't want you guys to get scared or anything. So you have this. Okay. You're going to find the whichever method for these two, whichever method you want to use, method 1 or method 2, go ahead and try. With this one, this is going to take some while, okay? I recommend you guys using another piece of paper to write everything down for the homework, okay? Because it's going to take a lot of work, but you're going to have to find the area of this one. If you notice, this triangle is the same as this one, okay? It's the same. They have the same base, all right? They have the very same base, okay? And they have the same height, okay? This is 12 feet. This height is also 12 feet. Okay, even though the 12 is not here, but it's still 12 feet. So if the whatever area is for this triangle, it's gonna be the same for this one. Okay, so you're gonna have to add the areas of both of these triangles, and you're gonna have to add the area from this rectangle. How can you find the area of this rectangle? You're gonna do base times, and it's actually a square. Now I notice all sides are equal. You see 12, 12, 12, 12. So you're gonna find the area of this square. Find the area of both of these triangles and add all the 3 areas together. Okay? Just giving you a tip. The area of this triangle is going to be the same area as this one. So you don't have to spend too much time finding the area. So if you find the area for this triangle, don't do the work for this one. You already know that. You can multiply times 2. Okay? But we'll have to do length times width for this square. Add them together. Okay? Same thing for this one. Okay, this is a little bit. I might send a video for these, okay, because this is taking it a whole step. Okay, if you just can't, okay, It's a challenge. I will challenge you guys with this one, especially 3 and 4. It's a challenge. What I do want you guys is to try 1 and 2. These ones I want to challenge you with. Okay, try to think outside the box. Okay. Actually, if you solve these, I will give you extra credit for these. All right, trying to motivate you guys. Okay. All right. Listen, what's the focus on this? Not on these, but this is to challenge you guys. All right. If you notice, all of these 4 triangles, they're the same. So if the area, I'm just giving you an example. It's an example, example. If the area of this triangle, let's say for example, was 5 inches, that's gonna be 5 inches. That's gonna be 5 inches squared, 5 inches squared. So if you do 5 times 4 is 20, okay? And you're able to tell this is a rectangle. You would do 24 plus 24, and that lets you know what's the height of this rectangle, which is 48. Okay, it's very complicated. It's very advanced. Try these as extra credit. What I do for sure, try the methods that I showed you for 1 and 2. Okay. This one, they're giving you what the base of the triangle is. So I would recommend you guys for number 3, for example, do like a triangle like that. And it's letting you know that he's creating this, and he knows that the base is 48 meters. And the altitude, okay? Altitude, and I'm gonna write it here on the homework on the very top. Altitude is the same thing as saying height, all right? Very important. Very, 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 very important. If you look at this video, if you're gonna pay attention to this video, that's gonna let you know that altitude is the height. So, okay, the altitude is 32. Okay, so it's kind of gonna look like this. Okay, so all you're gonna have to do with this one is gonna do base times height times 1/2. So you're gonna multiply these 2 and then divide by 2, and that should give you the area. All right. Chauncey's building, same thing with this one. Okay, if the storage bench, so the base is gonna be 2.5, and the height is gonna be 4 1/4. Okay, they already put it right here. I would label one of them 4 1/2 and the other 2 1/2. All right, it's up to you. Okay, but you're gonna multiply the base and the height and divide it by 2. Make sure you convert these into improper fractions. All right, bottom one. Okay, how could you calculate the area? You can go back to the homework, okay? I'm sorry, to the lesson, and kind of get something like this, okay? You can write these as, you can write this this right here as your answer for number 7 for part A, okay? And to identify each part, so just identify each part. What is the 7? What is the 7? You would say, oh, the 7 is the base. What is the 3? Oh, it's the base. What is the 4? It's the height. That's identifying. Ignore the 5, eh? Okay, I would right now just cross it off. Ignore the 5. You don't need the 5. Okay? And the last one. Okay, so again, you're going to create, I would myself, like I've done before, I create a triangle. And it's letting me know that the area is 32.5. Okay, square what? Square inches. Okay, and the altitude, or in other words, the height, and I'm gonna do it right here. The height, so from here to here is 7 1/2. Okay, the reason I did this little bar right here is because I ran out of space right here. Okay, I didn't want to overlap it. So from here to here, from bottom to top is 7 1/2. So you're trying to find the base. Okay, go to this problem, look at the steps, and this will help you solve the last problem on the lesson. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I will be sending, if you need copies for lesson 3, I will be sending them out. But you have to let me know through Class Dojo or email that you need a copy of lesson 3. I can send it through Class Dojo or email. You can print them, or you can do everything on a separate sheet of paper. All right. Again, some of you are gonna run out of space. You can do your work on another sheet of paper. That's okay with me. Just make sure you circle the final or put in a square your final answers. Okay, I've looked at some of your homeworks and you guys don't circle or put inside a square or squiggly lines or a little bubble or something your final answer. Please do that so I know what's your final answer. Okay, if you look at this, it's a lot of stuff. If I didn't circle the final answer, it would be really hard for you guys to tell more than it already is, all right? So please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I can send you videos. I can send you pictures. Let me guide you through it as much as I can. This is the lesson. All right, you guys. Again, let me know if you need lesson 3. I can send it through Class Dojo or email. Once you finish with it or you think you're finished with it, send me a picture. Okay, and I'll read it and I'll give you feedback. I'll tell you, hey, you need to fix this or that, or you did great. You can wait until lesson 4. Okay, we're gonna be having classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So expect from me on Wednesday to give you the next lesson, which is lesson 4. All right, please contact me if you have any questions. All right, and I'll try to guide you through it as much as possible. Good luck, you guys. Have a good day.